Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll go through the top 25 frequently asked SQL interview questions and answers. SQL is used for querying, managing, and analyzing data in relational databases, making it essential for handling large datasets efficiently. So it's a very critical skill for roles like Power BI developer, data analyst, data engineer, and data scientist. So these questions in this video will help you understand the type of SQL questions you might encounter in interviews, covering fundamental concepts along with advanced queries. So with that, let's begin with our first question. Our first question is, explain the difference between delete and truncate commands. And the answer is, the delete command is a data manipulation language (DML) command that is used to remove rows from a table in a database, while the truncate command, which is a data definition language, that is DDL, which is used to remove all data from a table while preserving the table structure. Delete allows you to delete by using where clause to filter the records to be deleted, where truncate doesn't support the where clause, meaning it cannot filter specific records. Delete is not auto-committed. You need to issue commit after the delete statement for the changes to be saved permanently, while truncate is auto-committed. And the syntax for delete is delete from table name and you then specify the where condition, while the syntax for truncate is truncate table and the name of the table. So these are the four differences that you can mention if you are asked this question. Next, what is the difference between union and union all? The answer is, the union operator combines the results of two or more select statements, eliminating duplicate rows. It merges the result sets and ensures that only unique records are included. For the union to work, the columns in each select statement must have the same data types and be listed in the same order. Unlike union, the union all operator combines the results of select statements without eliminating duplicate rows. So that is the major difference between union and union all. So as a result, all rows including duplicates are included in the final result set. Union all is typically faster than union because it skips the step of checking for and removing duplicates. Next. What is the order of execution in SQL code? So the order is, first it's from or join, then where and the filter conditions, after that group by, and then having, then it comes back to select, distinct, after that it goes to the end where you have order by, followed by limit and offset. So this is the order of execution in SQL code. Next, find employees whose names contain "and." So for that, you have to write a SQL query, and the query is, select star from employees, consider employees as the table name, where name like, so here you have to use the like operator, and then the person sign, and again ends with another person sign. So this condition where name like percentage and then again percent sign, it will basically check this and character if it exists in any of the employee names, and it will populate that employee names. So next question. What are the different types of SQL commands? And the answer is, so there are four types of SQL commands. First one is DDL, that is data definition language. Then DML, that is data manipulation language. Third one is DCL, that is data control language. And the fourth one is TCL, that is transaction control language. Now under DDL, you have create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. Under DML, you have select, insert, update, and delete. Under DCL, you have grant and revoke. And under TCL, you have commit and rollback. Let's move on to our next question. What is a primary key in SQL? That is a very basic question and it is a very commonly asked question for the SQL interviews. And the answer is the SQL primary key is a column or a set of columns that uniquely identifies each record in a database table. So there are three properties. So first one is uniqueness. That means every value in the primary key column or columns must be unique across all rows in the table. Then the second one is non-null. A primary key column cannot contain null values. Every row must have a valid non-null value for the primary key. And the last one is single or composite. That means a primary key can be made up of a single column, a simple primary key, or multiple columns, which is known as composite primary key. And the syntax is create table, then the table name, here the table name is employees, and then if you want to declare employee ID as the primary key, you have to specify employee ID column, then the data type, that is integer, and then you need to specify primary key, and followed by the remaining fields and the respective data types. Next question. What are the different types of joins in SQL? So there are basically four types of joins. First one is inner join, which returns rows when there is a match in both tables. The next one is left join, which returns all rows from the left table and the matching rows from the right table. The third one is right join, which returns all rows from the right table and the matching rows from the left table. And the last one is full join, which returns all rows when there is a match in either the left or right table. Next question. What is a view and how it is different from a table? And the answer is, in SQL, a view is a virtual table that displays data from one or more tables or other views in a particular format, often simplifying complex queries. A view does not store data directly. Instead, it stores a SQL query that retrieves data from the underlying tables when accessed. Essentially, it functions as a saved query that can be treated like a table. So these are the differences between a table and a view. So the table basically stores the actual data. That is the major difference between table and view. While view does not store any data, it just stores the query. Then the table contains permanent data, but for view, the data is dynamically generated. Table can be updated like insert, update, delete. You can perform these operations on a table, but for view may or may not be updatable. Table stores real-world data entities, but view used for abstraction, simplicity, or security. The query is faster for a table because the data is already stored, but view can be slower, depends on the query complexity. The table has fixed structure with columns and data types, but for view, it's defined by a query, columns as per the select statement. The next question, how to rename a column of a table. So here you have to write a SQL, and the syntax is to rename a column of a table, you have to use alter. So alter, then table, then you specify the name of the table, after that rename, and then you specify the column like the old or the existing column name to the new name. So for example, if you want to rename the column sal to salary from the employee table, this is how you have to write the query. Alter table, then table name, that is employee, rename column, the existing column name is sal, to the new column name is salary. So this is how you have to rename a column of a table. Next question. Now this is another important question. What is the difference between the rank and dense rank functions? So rank function is when two or more rows have the same value, that is a tie, the rank functions assign the same rank to those rows and then skips the following ranks. For example, if two rows tie for rank 1, then the next rank assigned will be 3. It skips the second rank. So see here, this is the example of rank function. So as you can see here, for the value 10, since there is a tie, so it assigns the same rank, that is 1. And after 10, the next highest value is 8. But for 8, rank is basically skipping the second rank and it is assigning 3. So this is how rank function works. If there is a tie, then rank function assigns the same rank to those rows and then skips the following rank. Now we'll see what is dense rank function. Dense rank is also similar to rank function, but instead of skipping ranks, the dense rank function assigns the next available rank without skipping any numbers, even if there are ties. So for example, if you see here, so it is for dense rank, and see here for first and second records, the value is 10. So it is assigning the same rank to both the rows, but the second highest value is 8. But for 8, dense rank is not skipping the rank, it is assigning 2. So this is the major difference between rank and dense rank function, where you can see rank is skipping the following rank, but dense rank is not skipping the following rank. Next, move on to our 11th question. What is order by in SQL? The SQL order by clause is used to sort data in either ascending or descending order based on one or more columns. So see here, these are the examples. Select star from table name, order by name ascending. Even though you don't specify ascending or descending, by default it will be sorted in ascending order. And if you want to explicitly change the sort to descending, you have to specify descending. Select star from employee, order by name, descending. And if you want to apply sort on multiple columns, in that case you have to write the query in this way: select star from table name, order by age ascending, comma, salary descending. So this is how you can use order by clause to sort data in your SQL queries. Next question. What is the difference between having and where clause? The main difference between the having clause and the where clause in SQL lies in when and how they filtered the data. So where clause is basically used to filter rows before aggregation. The where clause is used to filter rows before any grouping or any aggregation takes place, that is before group by. And where clause also works with individual rows. It filters data on a row by row basis. Whereas the having clause is used to filter the data after it has been grouped and aggregated. That is after group by. That is the difference between where and having. Having clause works with aggregated data like different aggregated functions like count, sum, average, mean, max, etc. And having can only be used with group by or aggregated result. Next question. How to remove duplicate rows in SQL? It's a very commonly asked SQL interview question. So for that, you have to write your SQL query. So for example, first, let's assume the following table for the data set. So see here, we have this employee ID 2 and also employee ID 3 duplicated, right? So now we have to write a query where you have to basically remove these duplicates. So your query will be delete from table name employee, where employee ID in, select employee ID from table name, group by employee ID, having count of employee ID greater than 1. So basically using this query, select employee ID from employee, group by employee ID, having count of employee ID greater than 1, you are basically checking against each employee ID what is the count of employee ID. So this query will basically generate for employee ID 2, it will give the count of employee ID as 2 because there are 2 records. For 3, it will return the count of employee ID as 2 because there are duplicates. But for 1, 4 and 5, it will return only 1 because there are no duplicates. So basically once you identify the employee IDs for which the data is duplicated, you have to use this delete statement to delete those duplicate records. Next question. How to select common records from two tables? if you want to retrieve the common records from two tables, you have to basically use intersect statement. And the syntax is select star from table name, intersect, select star from table name. Moving on to our next question. Purpose of case statement in SQL. It's a very important question, and make sure that you understand the concept of case statement. So the case statement in SQL is a conditional expression that enables you to implement conditional logic within a query. It is often used to create new columns based on specific conditions and assign custom values, or control the output of a query based on certain criteria. If no conditions are met, the else part is executed, and if there is no else part, it returns null. So see here, this is how you can use case statement in your SQL query. For example, if you want to create a conditional column based on your salary, you can use case statement and you can just create a new column. So the syntax is, so first select employee name, comma, case when, then you specify the condition, salary is less than 15,000, then you will categorize as low. When salary is between 15,000 and 30,000, then you will categorize it as medium, else high, and end. So you need to make sure that you end this case statement with this end. After that, and you name it as salary category column. So this is how you can, as I have mentioned here, that you can, based on your specific conditions, you can assign some new values and you can create a new column using case statement. Moving on to our next question. Coalesce function in SQL. This is another very important function. So the coalesce function in SQL is used to return the first non-null value from a list of arguments. It is commonly used to handle null values in queries, ensuring that a result is returned even if some of the values are null. So here is the example. Select coalesce function, middle name, comma, NA as middle name. So if this middle name is null, that null value will be replaced with NA. Again, another example. So select department ID, comma, coalesce function, sum of salary, comma, 0 as total salary. So now again, so what coalesce function will do is it will replace the salary with 0 whenever the salary is null. Moving on to our next question. Are null values same as 0 or a blank space? And the answer is null values are not same as 0 or a blank space. Null represents the absence of a value, or it represents unknown data. It indicates that the value for a column is not known or has not been assigned. Whereas 0 itself is a numerical value. It represents the number 0 and it's not same as null. It's a valid number which is used in mathematical calculations. And a blank space is an empty string which itself is a value, but it is a string which has no character. So the answer is null values are not same as 0 or blank space. Moving on to our next question. Find the second highest salary in SQL using subquery. So this is a very commonly asked SQL query for interview. So make sure that you understand this. So consider this table where you have like the employee names and their corresponding salary. And now you have to get the second highest salary. So the query will be select name, comma, salary from employee, where salary equals to, now you start your subquery, select max of salary from employee, where the salary is less than, select max of salary from employee. So see here how this query is working. Here it is getting the select max salary from employee, and in this data the max salary is 8 lakhs. So now look at this outer query where it is again getting max of salary from employee, where salary is less than max of salary. Now here what it is doing is it is getting the salary which is the max salary and which is less than this max salary. So already we have got the max salary value, that is 8 lakh, and next we need to find out the maximum salary which is less than 8 lakhs, and that is nothing but this Anderson, the second row, where the value is 5 lakhs. So now you know what is the second highest salary. So this salary value will match with the second highest salary and retrieve the employee name and the corresponding salary. So this is how you can get the second highest salary in SQL using subquery. Let's move on to our next query. Find the second highest salary in SQL without subquery. So again we'll use the same data set, and the query will be, so here we have to use the concept of CT, that is common table expression. So we're basically using with clause, we have to create a temporary table and we have to use that table. First we have to create the temporary table with clause, and that is with the name of the table, that is rank underscore salaries as, and here you have to write your query. So my query is select name comma salary, and we have to leverage the dense rank function to get the rank based on the salary. So dense rank over order by salary descending order, we'll name this field as rank. So basically using dense rank function based on salary in descending order, we'll get the ranks. Once we create the rank salaries temporary table, then we'll use this table to find the second highest salary. So select name comma so salary as second highest salary from rank underscore salaries table, where we'll specify the condition rank is equals to 2. So basically this rank equals to 2, this condition will retrieve the employee who has the second highest salary. So this is how using dense rank function and using with clause, and so this is how without using subquery you can find the second highest salary in a table. Next question. What is the difference between rank function and row number function? So we have already seen the difference between rank and dense rank. Now we have to see the difference between rank and row number. So rank is when two or more rows have the same value, that is a tie. So rank function assigns the same rank to those rows and then skips the following ranks. And we have already seen the example before, like whenever the values are same, so rank basically skips the following rank. Now we'll see what is row number and how it is different from rank. So row number function basically assigns a unique sequential number to each row in result set, beginning with 1 for the first row. So even if there are ties like multiple rows with the same value in the ordering column, it doesn't matter, it will still generate a distinct number for each row, and there will not be any gap in the sequence. So see here, so this is how row number will look like. It will not consider whether there is any tie or there are any duplicate records or not. It will not consider anything. It will simply generate sequential number for each row in the result set. So this is the difference between row and row number. You can see here, even though there are same values like 10 first two rows, but still row number is generating sequential number. It is not generating the same the way rank generates. It is not generating the same number as rank generates. So this is the difference. Moving on to our next question. Find all the employees having same salary. This is a very interesting one. So see here, consider this data set, but we have to use the concept of self join here. So let's see how the query looks like. So the query is select E1.name comma E1.salary from employee E1 comma employee E2. So this is what I am referring to as self join, where E1.salary equals to E2.salary and E1.id not equals to E2.id. So now let me just explain how the concept of self join works. So see here, I have already copied this same table, same data set twice. Look at the data here. So Rebecca and Anderson, they have the same salaries. Again, Mark and Sandra, they also have the same salaries, right? So now how to find this information? So how this self join works? So first we are checking the salary from E1 table matches with the salary from E2 table or not, right? So what it will do is this 70,000 it will check in this table, so where it matches. So 70,000 matches here, 70,000 matches here. So now for Rebecca, if you see here, this 70,000 it matches for two rows, and the next condition which we are using is the employee ID should not be same. Then it will check, okay, so for 1,000 this 1,000 is matching because it's the same person. But again, this is the second row where the salary is same, but if you see here, the employee ID is not same. So that means Rebecca and Anderson, they have same salaries. Same goes to this value also, 8 lakhs. So for 8 lakhs, it will find match here and here, and it will see whether the employee ID matches or not. So 1003 will match here, so because it's the same person, but 1003 will not match here. So because it's a different person with the same salary. So that is how, using the concept of self join, you can retrieve the information where the employees are having same salary. Now let's move on to our next query. Update the columns name to Richard and salary to 4 lakhs 50,000 where ID is 1002. So basically what it is saying is, so for 1002, you need to update the name from Jacob to Richard, and you need to update the salary to 4 lakhs 50,000. So for that, this is the query you have to write. Update table name. So table name is employee, then set name equals to Richard, comma, salary equals to 4 lakh 50,000, and then you specify the condition. So condition is where ID equals to 1002. So this is how you will be able to update the record in your table using update statement. Moving on to our next question. Write a SQL to display top 5 highest paid employees from a table. So this is the table, and to get the top 5 highest paid employees from a table. So this is a very easy query which you can write. Select top 5 star from table name and order by salary in descending order. So using this, you can very easily retrieve the top 5 highest paid employees from your table. Next question. What is CT? So we have already seen the concept of CT, where we are using with clause and creating the temporary table. So CT is nothing but a common table expression in SQL, which is a temporary result set that can be used within a scope of a select, insert, update, or delete statement. Defined using the with clause, CTs can be referred multiple times throughout the main query, and this makes them an effective alternative to subqueries, especially when performing repetitive operations or creative recursive queries. So we have already seen like the usage of CT in our previous examples, and this is the syntax. So you have to use the with clause to create the CT. So with, then the CT, the table name as, and then you have to write the query. And so here the query, select department, comma, sum salary as total salary from employees group by department, and after that you can refer to this table multiple times in your query as per your requirements. Once you create this city, department, salary using with clause, you can refer to this table multiple times in your query. So you can just simply write select star from department salary, and it will give you the data department and the total salary from the employee table. It's a very important concept, so make sure that you understand that. So moving on to our last question. Find employee name and the manager name. And let's see the query. The query is select employee.name as employee name, comma manager.name as manager from employee join employee manager on employee.manager id equals to manager.employee id. So here also the concept of self join you need to use. So let me just explain you how it is working here. So see here, I have just created some table for your understanding. So I'll refer to the first table as employee and the second table as manager. So see here in this table, you have the employee and their manager ID. And for Anderson and Olive, the manager ID is 2, and for Henry, the manager ID is 3. The manager ID from employee should match the employee ID from manager. So for the first row, we'll see what is the manager ID. So that is 2. So now we'll go and see where this manager ID matches the employee ID. So in the second row, the employee ID is 2. So this is where the manager ID is matching the employee ID. And what is the corresponding name? That is Nancy. So that means for the manager ID 2, the employee is Nancy. So that means for Anderson, Nancy is the manager. Same goes to Olive as well. Now see for Henry, the manager ID is 3. So again it will check where this manager ID 3 matches the employee ID. So this 3 manager ID matches the employee ID 3 here for the third row where the employee name is Olive. So that means Olive is the manager for Henry. So this is how, using the concept of self join, you can get the employee name and their corresponding manager name. So this is the join which you have to understand, where employee.manager ID equals to manager.employee ID. So that's all for today's video. I hope that you find this video useful. So make sure that you understand the answers, or you have very clear understanding on the concepts behind all these questions. So these questions will definitely help you to crack any interview that come in your way in future. So that's all for today's video. Thanks a lot for watching. Do subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.